Belichick has won 6 Super Bowls in New England. Of course, he won them all with Tom Brady. And apparently, according to Tom Curran, who is a beat writer for the Patriots, he's on the hot seat. And Curran said he's been there on different levels of warmth since 2019. He went on the Rich Eisen show, and it's pretty stunning that somebody that has that resume, would be on the hot seat. They haven't been terrible.
Yeah.
They are 25-25 over the past 3 seasons. They have 1 playoff appearance, but 0 wins since Brady left the franchise in free agency following the 2019 season.
But you mentioned it. They're right exactly where you can't be in pro sports. They're right down the middle. They're 25-25. I mean, you can't get any more vanilla 8-8, 9-8. I know there are 17 games now. And if you're Robert Kraft's 82 years old. Like,
he's not messing around.
If he wants another Super Bowl, like, it's got to happen relatively quickly.
And if you look at the division, you've got the Bills, who won 13 games last year.
Right.
You've got the Dolphins, who we just talked about with Tua. If he's healthy, you would expect the Dolphins to be much better, as we mentioned before, 8-3 before Tua goes down with the injury. You've got the Jets, who, yes, they finished last year, but now they've got Aaron Rodgers. Get Hall back, seem to have more weapons on offense. You would expect them to take a leap. The Patriots, with Mac Jones, now maybe he has a fantastic year with Bill O'Brien as the offensive coordinator, but
yeah, Bill O'Brien.
Isn't everybody going to pick them as last in the division?
I would think so. Third or fourth, I would guess, would be most of the prognosticators picking them for 2023.
It's just stunning to think that a guy, does he personally, because he has 5 Super Bowl wins?
6.
He has 6?
Yes,
6
Brady's
as head
got
coach,
7.
And Brady's got 7. You feel like that's a lifetime contract. I remember when Billick got fired for the Ravens, and they were struggling a little bit, but I was like, dude, he won a Super Bowl for you. What are you doing? Now, look, there have been coaches that have won Super Bowls and been fired from other teams, but usually when you win a Super Bowl, I'm sure you could point a few other instances, but usually when you win a Super Bowl for a team, it's kind of like a lifetime contract. Kind of.
Maybe Robert
You
Kraft
usually don't get fired. If you've won 6.
Yeah, but maybe Kraft just does not share that same belief.
Clearly he does.
He's like, you better I love the 6 Super Bowls. I love what you've done for us, but you better show that again, or your job is not guaranteed.
Now, I don't
They
know.
won the division 11 years in a row.
Yeah.
First in the AFC East from 2009 all the way until Brady leaves 2019. And in 2019, they lost in the AFC wildcard game because they were Super Bowl champions in 2018. So just 5 years ago, they won the Super Bowl. But that was with Brady. Post-Brady, and it stings that Brady won a Super Bowl in Tampa, 7-9, third in the AFC East, 10-7, where they get to the wild card game, they lose to the Bills, and then last year, 8-9, third in the AFC East. Here's my question for you, EB. Let's say Bill Belichick gets fired, and we all expect Ron Rivera to be fired.
Yeah.
Would you hire a 72-year-old Bill Belichick to take over the Commanders next season?
Instantly.
As much as I despise defensive head coaches, and I hate their guts for the most part, I'd have to make an exception.
I'm surprised because you're an ageist as well.
I am. I'm clearly a guy. I don't like hiring 70-year-olds, but if I can get Belichick, of course you would take him. With the revolving door of horrible coaches that have been here in Washington, you would have to roll the dice on Belichick.
You hire him instantly, and you give him like $20 million a year. And there's no reason to think he'd be particularly successful here. But, I mean, how could you pass up on arguably?
You couldn't.
If he's not the greatest coach of all time, he's in the top 2 or 3.
You know, when you look at his resume, it says most Super Bowl wins 8 because I guess he won 2 as a D coordinator.
Right. But as a head coach, he's won 6. And that's what you really care about.
The harder part, though, for me would be, all right, he's 72. Obviously, with Brady, amazing. But his pre-Brady record wasn't silly. I think with the Browns, he took them to the playoffs once.
It really elevates Brady. It really does. Because you were kind of torn, and you're like, it's just a great combo, those two guys together. But Brady really separated himself.
Brady Bolton won another one.
Yeah.
Brady, he won one with Tampa. He really separated himself.
Yeah. Well, quarterback's far more important. Just proved it right there.
Yeah. But I'd be dumb, and I'd give him all the money, and I wouldn't necessarily expect anything great. I think he'd be competitive, though.
I'm going to put it up as the Junkies poll of the day, brought to you by Van Meter Homes. If Bill Belichick, and it seems unfathomable, but if he was let go by the Patriots at the end of the season, and Tom Curran says he's on the hot seat and has been on the hot seat for the last couple of seasons, would you want him as your Commanders head coach? 800-636-1067. You can chime in. You can also vote at Junks Radio. I think some people are gonna say no because of Cleveland, and because of the last 3 seasons.
I don't think people even remember he was in Cleveland at this point. That's so long ago. I don't think they even count it.
And as far as his age, I haven't looked at him lately, but he might be one of the best looking 72-year-olds. Right?
Not compared to the Golden Bachelor.
Yeah, he's not dreamy like that guy.
It's not like he's handsome.
He's holding up pretty well.
But he doesn't. I wouldn't have guessed that he was 72. Put it that way. I would have guessed he was like mid-60s. And I think he looks good. I don't think he looks like he's slowing down at all. I wouldn't hold that against him at all. The only thing is that guys that switch teams like that, that have won Super Bowls in their town, they really generally they don't go around and win Super Bowls for the new teams.
Man, the Patriots' schedule to start is brutal. Their first 4 games, they host Philly in the opener, then they host Miami in back-to-back weeks, then they go to the Jets and go to the Cowboys in the first month of the season.
Right.
That is a tough opening slate for them. They better get off to a quick start.
And here's the thing. I do believe that Kraft is willing to move on. He moved on from Tom Brady.
Right.
He punted Tom, the winningest quarterback of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see him just saying, yeah, it's just, we need to change up things here, and we're going to let Bill go. Now, the question is, would Bill want to coach somewhere else? Or does he just want to sail and, go to lacrosse games?
He seems like a lifer.
He does have.
He seems like a lifer.
He does have local ties.
He's got the Annapolis ties.
Got local ties. Josh Harris, start reaching out now. Well, I guess that would be tampering.
No,
right?
But you could talk to his agent.
Sure. But,
which is what they do.
Put the feelers out.
If Josh
Whatever.
Harris,
wasn't he the coach of the Jets for a day? And then
that's true.
And then the Patriots reached out.
He had a press conference.
Or whatever it was.
I mean, and look, could do it under the table. I mean, we all know Bill Belichick's okay with shenanigans. Hello, Spygate, Deflategate.
Yeah.
Okay.
800.
He might take a call.
I think you'd be a fool not to be interested.
Yeah.
If Belichick became available, and we currently have Ron Rivera as the head coach.
It's a splash higher for the new Harris.
You couldn't make a bigger splash.
800-636-1067. Are you intrigued that Bill Belichick, reportedly on the hot seat, and according to the beat writer, says has been on the hot seat for a couple seasons. If he were to be let go, and we all assume, Ron, this is his last season, barring some sort of miracle, would you be interested in Bill Belichick as the head coach? He did coach the Jets for one day.
Right.
Then he accepted the head coaching job for the Patriots.
I don't think he coached anything. He did a press conference. Yeah. Let's go to Andre in Manassas. Andre, what's up?
Hey, gentlemen. Good morning. Now, I would have to say a hard no, man. I mean, for many reasons.
Serious?
First of all, he hired Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator. Secondly, he doesn't have
Andre. He knows that was a mistake in hindsight. He realizes that was a mistake.
But I mean, when you make that mistake, I can't just give you an easy pass. Listen, he's going to go down as one of the greatest of all times. Do I want him to be a commander coach? No, his coaching tree, I'm not impressed by that. He always rehires the same person. So he's kind of been in a shell up there by himself. I mean, it worked, but now when you have to expand.
Let me just cut to the chase. Who would you rather have right now, Ron Rivera or Bill Belichick?
Rivera. I would say
no credibility. Even the last 3 seasons without Brady, he's 500, which is actually better than Ron Rivera.
Of course.
Now, Ron Rivera last year was 8-8-1, and Belichick was 8-9. But I would say, I don't know, the quarterbacks here were so bad with Wentz and Heineke, but. You Joan, on Matt Patricia as offensive coordinator, they still won 8 games last season. That's a pretty good coaching job, I think, based on the roster they had.
And who's he been?
They never have good receivers.
Yeah.
Who's he
That's
been?
why they're always rumored to be in the sweepstakes for every receiver that's out there, like Hopkins.
Yeah, I hate their
and they
receiver
whiff.
core. Like they signed Smith-Schuster in the offseason. They drafted a kid in the second or third round, Tyquan Thornton, that they're expecting to step in. They just don't have a lot. Devontae Parker is there. I think they gave him like a 3-year deal.
And Mac Jones is,
He's very Mac
Yes.
Jones. Should be called Mac Jones.
Are we going to see a scenario where Belichick gets fired and then goes somewhere else and then duplicates his Cleveland non-success and then just it goes out with a whimper? Goes out like Shanny?
I would say there's probably a greater chance of that than winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I mean, who leaves? Like Jimmy Johnson left Dallas or was fired by Jerry Jones, goes to Miami. I think he was pretty successful, but he didn't win anything.
Moderately successful, but
it's
fell
hard.
way short.
It's hard to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
I know.
Okay, he did it with Tom Brady. The odds that he does it again at 72 plus years of age in a different spot,
Right.
very low.
Parcells had success everywhere he went,
Right.
but he only won, you shouldn't say only, but he won 2 Super Bowls, right, with the Giants. Then I think he got to a Super Bowl with New England.
Right.
But he never won it.
It didn't really work out.
And was he with the Jets, too? I've already forgotten.
I feel like he was with the Jets. I don't even know. Has there been any head coaches that have won in 2 different cities? I feel like there hasn't. Maybe there's been one that's done it in the last couple of years, but I can't even think of it at the top of my head. It generally doesn't work. Still, all that being said, he's better than Ron.
Yes.
I would take him over Ron 100 times out of 100. And I would think 20 teams would be interested. You think?
Oh, he'll have suitors.
Who do you think? You think the Bears would rather have Matt Eberflus or Bill Belichick? Who do you think they'd rather have?
They would rather have the guy who has 6 Super Bowl rings.
Right.
They'd rather have him.
I mean, you can't, with a straight face, say, I'd rather have Ron Rivera than Bill Belichick.
No, it's
literally
it's
no
impossible.
one in the country would say that.
So Parcells won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. Then he goes to New England, and his overall record was just 500, but took him to the playoffs twice, including a Super Bowl. Then he goes to the Jets. They made it all the way to the AFC Championship game his second season.
That was with
finished
Sanchez.
29-19,
Right?
And then
Or no, was that with
no, it was 98.
That was way before that.
And then Dallas took him to the playoffs twice in 4 seasons.
Who was his quarterback? Was it like Chad Pennington or something? Like, who was his
The
quarterback?
1998 Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going way back.
That's going way
That's
back.
going 25 years back.
The 1998 Jets, they had Vinny Testaverde.
Oh,
Vinny has his moments. Late in his
Sure,
career, Vinny had
did.
moments.
how many years was Vinny on the Ravens, Valdez?
Man,
He was definitely on the Ravens for a bit.
like 96 through 99.
Was he their first
Yes.
starting quarterback?
Yes.
Vinny
only
Testaverde.
only to 97, 96 through 97.
Oh, 96.
He played on a ton of teams. He played on the Bucks, the
He put-
Browns, the Ravens, the Jets, the Cowboys, back to the Jets, the Patriots, and the Panthers.
I just remember him picking him up in fantasy. Like he'd pop off every once in a while.
Right.
How old do you think Vinny Testaverde is right now?
I looked.
56.
59.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
man. He can start withdrawing his 401k.
And do you remember the bit? I mean, I guess it's a real thing about him.
Oh,
He used to throw a lot of picks. Why?
Well, it said he was
Why?
colorblind. That was the thing.
Colorblind.
I mean, I
Not
don't know if it's
great.
true, but
need to get some corrective
Realize,
lenses or something.
if you're legit colorblind, how nubs that is. Like if you see everything in black and white, essentially.
I don't think you see it in black and white. You see like weird like reds and greens, I think. I don't think it's in black and white. Or maybe you
Okay,
can't discern
I
like
didn't
red.
know.
Maybe you can't discern like red from green. Maybe I'm getting it all mixed up.
Oh, is
I
that
don't
right?
know.
It says you have a decreased ability to see color or differences in color.
Like,
Right.
like for sure you struggle with like blue and black. I get
Yeah.
that.
Red
But-
and orange.
You know what? Vinny Testaverde would have sucked during the color rush era where they all wear the same color head to toe. Wouldn't have been great for him.
Well, all I know is you're lying to yourself and you're lying to us.
Yes.
If you called
Don't
in
lie
and
to
said
us.
you'd rather have Ron Rivera than Bill
we can
Belichick.
pick out a liar a mile away.
No, nobody can honestly say that.
What do you think is winning in the poll? Brought to you by Van Meter Homes. If Bill Belichick was fired by the Patriots after this season, would you want him as the Commanders'
I would
head coach?
hope it's yes.
I would think, I guess people are going to be weird. 60-40 yes.
48% yes.
So
Bill
dumb.
Belichick can't get a job.
Man,
They're
that's
essentially
weird.
saying they'd rather have Ron.
Yep.